If the Amazon rainforest were a country, it would be the 7th largest in the world. Spanning 9 countries across South America, it covers around 5.5 million square kilometers, which makes it almost twice the size of India. The Amazon is home to at least 10% of all known species on the entire planet, along with around 30 million people from more than 350 different ethnic groups. It's also one of our most important defenses against climate change, storing up to 200 billion tons of carbon, which is roughly 5 years' worth of global carbon emissions from the burning of fossil fuels. But humans are slowly tearing it down. About 18% of the Amazon has already been destroyed, and many scientists now believe we could soon reach a tipping point where the Amazon starts to dry up and can no longer function as a rainforest. So what would that mean for its people, for wildlife, and for the rest of the world? As the word suggests, a rainforest is a mostly evergreen forest that gets large amounts of rainfall. Rainforests are found on every continent except Antarctica, from the Amazon in South America, to the Congo rainforest in Central Africa, to the various rainforests of Southeast Asia and New Guinea. They're home to more than half of the world's known species, despite covering just 6% of the Earth's surface. There are 2 types of rainforest: temperate and tropical. And the world's largest tropical rainforest is, you guessed it, the Amazon. Now, the way that rainforests can sustain themselves is that they're often self-watering. Tropical rainforests are hot and humid, and that humidity leads to frequent and intense rainfall. Plants soak up that rainwater and then release it back into the atmosphere through evaporation and transpiration. So rainfall and humidity help sustain the rainforest, but at the same time, the rainforest also helps keep the climate rainy and humid. In fact, rainforests can generate up to 75% of their own rain. But what happens when the rainforest gets cut down? Deforestation is one of the biggest threats to rainforests across the globe. The Amazon has already lost 18% of its tree cover, and it's losing an extra 1% roughly every 3 years. Some of the main drivers include logging, ranching, mining, and agriculture. Scientists fear that the Amazon could soon hit a tipping point where it starts to permanently dry out. Here's how that would work. Fewer trees mean less transpiration, and once tree cover drops below a certain point, the rainforest will no longer produce enough rainfall to sustain itself. So in as little as 15 to 20 years' time, we could see large parts of the Amazon start to turn from a rainforest into a much drier ecosystem with far fewer trees, in the process known as dieback. That would release huge amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, contributing to climate change. It would also mean the loss of biodiversity and ecosystem services like pollination, clean water, and recreation, which would have drastic consequences even thousands of kilometers away. That's because the trees in the Amazon provide moisture that gets carried by the wind across the Americas and perhaps even as far as the Midwestern US. So the collapse of the Amazon could lead to more frequent droughts and lower crop yields across the Western Hemisphere. These changes could cause trillions of dollars in damage to the global economy, and they could take centuries to reverse, if they can be reversed at all.